So, Vijay, this all was very interesting. Can you summarize the story of Nagas again for us?
Yes, I was just telling you about the folk tale of Himal and Negrai. Himal was a Peshachi from Indian plains. She was a princess. Her father Baldeva ruled Shupaiya side, which is which was in those times border between mainland India and Kashmir, and from the mainland Kashmir was Nagraj, which was called in local dialect Negrai. There is a love story among them, and it's a very good and very popular folk story. Then there are remnants of Kashmiri Pandits being Nagas still evident from their surnames. They have very particular surnames. Apart from they have their Gotras, Upmanyu, Bhardwaj, Dattatreya, and all the nomenclatures of the rishis, the saints and sages of India. Apart from that, they have very strange surnames like Gadu. This does not carry any meaning. Who should call himself Gadu? But it was not Gada, which should have been their family deity, the Naga deity of the family. The clan is named after that. And there are jail khanis. I don't think that anybody amongst them would have a jailer, would have been a jailer or a sepoy, but it was Jalal Khan. These names are mentioned in Nilamata Purana. There is documentary evidence. It is Jalal Khan, it's Abramsha, which we call distortion or tasarruf. The things change, the language also develops. Like there are Karihulu, and another surname of Kashmir is Karihulu. Karihulu in local language means whose neck is tilted. But when we see, nobody among their clan has a neck tilted. It is Karahala. Karahala is the name of Nagas. Maybe the Naga deity of their clan, he was Karahala Naga. There are Kashmiri Pandit clans who have Kokru. Kokru, in normal sense, if you take it in Urdu, it means hen or cock. But who will name himself a cock? It is Karkara, because they are pre-Vedic names. The Sanskrit was in the stages of evolution. It was not Karkara. When the Kashmiri language came into existence, they said, "Ye Kokur, ye Kokru Sahab." Like there is another strange nomenclatures of Kashmiri is Mandal. They write Mandlu. But who will keep his nomenclature like that? Is Mandala.
Okay.
Its distortion came to be as Mandal. In a lighter vein, there are Kashmiris who are Kuchrus. And I don't think that those learned people who would have kept this name is Kursratra. Naga's name was Kursratra. But the distortion and when the language came down to the level of the local dialect, it became Kursratra, became Kuchru. There are Mando, there are Chapri. There are some. And this is worth noticing that only not Kashmiri Pandits, but Kashmiri Muslims have also retained the Naga names. There is a gentleman whose surname is Chapri. Chapri in Kashmiri language means who is very talkative, without sense, talking without sense. But it's not Chapra. The distortion has made Chapri. So there is another nomenclature, Tristle, does not carry any meaning. So Tirshira, it was name, and the Naga's name was Tirshira, which is another name of God Shankara. It was his name. Just there are Kobu. We say their name is Kobu. Kobu means who is bent, but nobody among them is with the bent back. It is Kebuka. It was Nag Kebuka. So its distortion became Ko. There is another surname, you will enjoy listening to it, Lidu. Lidu means dung, cow dung or something, or horse dung. But no insane person will name himself dung. It is Lederi.
Lederi.
The Naga was called Lederi. These all names which I am communicating to you are recorded properly in Nilamata Purana.
So,
There is
Vijayji, tell me
Kachru.
one thing. Now we see all these descent. Are we trying to say here that there is no doubt that we have evolved out of Nagas, as you said, they were able to transform themselves both into the snake form and the human form?
This, madam, it's not possible to explain everything in very limited space of time. That's what I came to. We became Buddhists. We adopted Shaivism. We adopted Shaktism. And later on, a section of us adopted Islam. But we did retain these aboriginal names, which were our identity.
So even
apart from being our Gotras, Upmanyu, Bhardwaja, and again, but we retained, just like there is Kachru. Kachru means who has brown hair or is brown colored, but nobody among Kachrus has brown. Is Kachra? He was a Naga. Their main deity was Kachra. They retained these Naga names. They were Vedic Brahmins. Then they affiliated themselves with the Rishis. They were Bhardwajas. They were Gautama, which every Kashmiri Pandit clan has. He has lineage towards the Rishis. But this is my own theory, and the scientific evidence shows that it's a later adaptation. Basically, we were Nagas, and we have retained. It's very authentic, and it has survived in very refined form also. Just I said, there are many other Puranas included in, but the Naga chapter is as it is. And the writer, whosoever he was, he says that there are only few Naga deities and clans which I am naming. There are so numerous others. So these surnames are a clear evidence that we belong to that Naga clan. Then we adopted the faith because Nagas were tribals, basically. It is a very prehistoric thing. So
do you have the list of all these Naga surnames with the actual Naga names? Because that would be something most of us would be interested in. So all these surnames with their Naga, relevant Naga names.
Okay.
Dr. Ved Ghai, she has compiled it, and her compilation is said to be more authentic. And my research work is also because she was helped by one Pandit Jagdar Zadu, who was a very proficient Pandit of Kashmir. He has helped her, and because the original Purana was written in Sharda script, he has converted it into the Sanskrit script, and the authenticity of this Nilamata Purana can be had from that. It is also a geographical study of Kashmir. It has names of every river. This is the prehistoric nomenclature of the different clans. Then we adopted other things because the human brain progressed. We had many other schools of thought. Then we became Shivites. The Shiva Trikha, the universal school of thought of Shivism, is still existent in Kashmir in very diluted form. We can't, but the Nagas were Shivites because their Vasuki is supposed to be very fervent Naga of Lord Shiva.
Yes.
And the Narayana is sleeping on Shesha. Nagas have been already symbolically associated with every conceptual god of Indian subcontinent.
Okay, so last question before we conclude is, is it only limited to Kashmir or whole J&K, or has this traces of similar kind of clans been found in any other part of India or world?
Actually, the people of yes, people of J&K have retained it to the large extent. Otherwise, when you survey the subcontinent, especially Indian mainland, you will find very people and places connected to Nagas. There is Nagapatnam, there is Nagaland. Nagapatnam is a famous port of ancient India, which lies to the south. There is Nagaland, where Naga tribe still lives. There is, in the peripheries of Kashmir, there is Bhadrava Valley, which is dwelling of the Nag. It's said the Nag Vasuki dwells there. There is a big temple, big shrine of Vasuki. And there are other Nagas, like you said, Achavala, which we call Achwal God.
Yes.
It has one Kokarnag, is Karkarnag. Then there are many other Nagas.
Yeah.
And they have been always considered mystic and having very tremendous powers. And there is, if you come to Jammu region, there is Mansar, it's a Naga. There is Surinsar, it's supposed to be a Naga. There is Gaba Devta, there is Bad Devta. There is many Nagas,
Yes.
which have different. But the interesting part of these, all Nagas have pre-Vedic names. They don't mean anything. Gaba Devta doesn't mean anything. Bhad Devta doesn't mean anything. Thappad Devta, one Nag is called Thappad Devta. It is in Kishtwar. He's called Thappad Devta. I asked him, what is this Thappad Devta? But it's prehistoric name. When Sanskrit was not formulated by Panini. It's very ancient name.
JG, what we're trying to understand, what we understood from this very interesting discussion is that we Kashmiri Pandits have been legacy of Nagas, and based on, because we were having legacy of Nagas, so our Taranga, female attire that we have, it has a kind of snake-like figure, and then our surnames are derived from from the Nagas, original Nagas name. So anything you would add? And
it's that apart from our dress, we have already discussed. The Nag Panchami is the great festival of India when people worship snakes. It was observed in Kashmir also. Then the rituals, like in the month of June, July, Ashada, we were performing Haramandal.
Yes.
We used to make a design of colors in our courtyards. And there are just, I said, Yakshamavsi. It's not being observed by anybody.
What is the significance of that drawing, that mandala in Ashad? How is that related to Nagas?
The Naga king, Neela had directed us to do so.
All these festivals, what we are doing, or all the rituals have been listed in the Nilamata Purana.
Nilamata Purana. That's why it confirms that we are from the Naga clan. Otherwise, we would follow Vedic Dharma. We follow it, but we have not left our traits. That's the crux.
Okay.
There are many other rituals which the Nagas told us, and we are still following them. Like I said, Yakshamavsi. We prepare the khichdi. In India, you won't find on the particular day.
Thank you so much for this very informative.
Thank you. It was very interesting topic, but very elongated.
Session.
Maybe if God wishes, we will continue on other topics.